So when did you get from, you made plastic raincoats and plastic bags for garments?
Yeah, and I started to repair the machines.
Was it heat sealing machines or sewing machines?
Heat sealing machines. Sewing machines, we had one or two at the time, so I had no idea. I worked for Singer Sewing Machine Company. That's why I got thrown out.
Yeah.
But we only had heat sealing machines. They were very complicated, and we used hot lead to join the fabrics together. Very healthy way of doing things.
So it melted between the...
Well, there was the wires were on top. They were just regular wires, and you came down with a machine and
It melted it?
And it melted these materials together. So that's how we started. And then we made, I made some dies. The dies were made on plywood and brass.
To cut out the plastic.
Yeah, and they were shaped whatever you want to shape. So I started repairing the machines. Then we could take these dies which we made and load them into the machines.
And you sold the raincoats to department stores?
Yeah,
or?
sure. Yeah. Macy's, wherever they could find them.
And did you put them on?
I didn't go out and sell them. It was I called Harry Rosenbaum. He went to Philadelphia to all these places, and he sold raincoats and garment bags for garments. You know, these big garment bags. We made those. There we needed sewing machines. That's how we got the sewing machines. But then we made them all heat sealed.
Right.
Funny, the prince died today, Prince Philip.
Yeah.
It was for her, some kind of a birthday she had. It goes back 100 years. We made first time a garment bag without a sewing machine, just a heat seal.
For the palace, for the queen.
Yeah, it was well, she didn't come down. But,
and you exported it to London, or
it was by the appointment of the queen. We could make that raincoat. So we sold a lot of these to mostly gimbals in those days. But we also lost some business because they weren't really watertight. They leaked. Okay, so.
And so how did you get from repairing machines to doing sales?
I didn't get along at all with the so-called plant manager. He just was no good. But he had Jacobson under his thumb, more or less. He controlled whatever was being done in the factory. And he's not alive anymore today, I'm sure not. But it was very difficult to work for him, and he was terrible with the workers who were there. He didn't treat them well at all.
Were you paid by the week or by the hour?
No, you paid by the week. It wasn't very much.
Yeah, how much did you make a week? $100 a week? $200?
How much?
$100 a week? $200 a week?
$20 a week.
$20 a week?
Sure, $30. Your mom made more than I did.
Did that cover the bus fare? Did that cover the bus fare and the pizza?
Listen, the rent was $37
okay.
a month.
In the apartment,
So we had enough time to collect the rent money.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy. I made very little money in the beginning.
So how did you get from machine to sales?
Because as I said, I didn't get along, and I started looking for other jobs as a tool and die maker. And then I noticed that the raincoats, it was no big deal, and the garment bags, they were always knocked down in price. They paid us less and less for that stuff. So, and then I saw different things on the market which needed packaging. They were lying loose in the trays, you know. So I started, and that's when I talked to Jacobson. And he said, you can go out and do whatever you want to do. I don't have much hope for that, but I'll pay you while you're doing that. And if in 6 months you don't succeed, you go back to the factory. In other words, he didn't fire me. He said, you can go back to. So that's how I did it. I always had the factory in the back I could go back to. So I started making little plastic samples for cosmetics and little bags with a snap and a zipper. I made them myself.
And then you got appointments at Gimbals or at Revlon?
I got appointments.
Did you call them up or just rang the doorbell? Or
No, you can't. If you wanted to be of any substance, you have to make an appointment. And 75% of the time, you got the appointment. It depends a lot on the receptionist, you know. If she didn't like you when you walked in the door, you couldn't see anybody, you know. But you made a sample for their product, and you sat down with them and they listened to you. They were interested. Everyone was interested, and you showed them what you can do, and then they said, "Well, here are 4 bottles. Make a package." So I went back to the factory.
You had to make a die for the package, or you had you had to make a die for the package, or you had something?
No, you made it by hand. The brass rods could be bent with a small machine into your shape. So you started making this into molds, and got your fingers burned most of the time. And the electronic machines were high frequency, so you had to be very careful.
So how big was your first order? $100, $1,000, $5,000?
I think my first order was a company called Zucchini